Well, everybody, welcome to week 2 of the East vs. West NFL Pickup Challenge. My name is Mike. This is Johnny H. We welcome you. A very, very, very awesome week 1 in the NFL. Some upsets, some games that you thought should have gone the way they should have, and some games that have just amazed a lot of people as far as the way games were played. One game in particular that I thought was a really, really good game was the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Arguably the best game of the week.
I agree. Very good defensive matchup.
Amazing defensive matchup.
Until the second half when Rodgers figured out that defense. Like I pretty much expected him to, but it wasn't a blowout though. So
yeah, I mean both offenses just didn't seem like they knew where they were going at first, but it's week 1 of the NFL. A lot of teams are still trying to figure themselves out, as we've seen the Houston Texans get derailed by Jacksonville.
Who saw that coming?
I didn't see it coming at all. I thought Jacksonville was honestly having some quarterback issues, and out of nowhere they come out and beat Houston. But Tom Savage was the starter. They pulled Tom Savage at halftime. Deshaun Watson, comes in and takes over and gets on the board. And then last night he gets his first start. Congratulations to Deshaun Watson.
He deserved it.
He very well did deserve it. I think he should have started week 1. I think Houston would have had a little bit of a better chance at week 1.
Definitely.
Now, not saying that Houston would have won that game, but like last night's game obviously was a really close defensive battle. I was actually watching that game up until freaking itch. I was watching that game up until about probably 4 minutes left in the first half, and it was just defense, and then I turned it off to go play some Madden because I was like, oh, I just want to play some Madden now. And I look on Facebook 30 seconds later, and Deshaun Watson ran the ball for 49 yards and got in the end zone. I'm like, son of a bitch, I should have kept it on. But
I didn't see any of it. I can't believe how poorly. You were talking about the Thursday night game, right?
Last night's game, yep.
Yeah. I can't believe how poorly the Bengals played. Like, I expected them to have a bounce back there this year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. That offense looked worse than the Giants last Monday night, and I didn't think that was possible because the Giants looked lost without Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe this will be a good thing for the Bengals. Why? Because Marvin Lewis should have been fired about 3 or 4 seasons ago. They're never going to win a Super Bowl with him. How many times are they going to be one and done in the playoffs or barely get in with him as their quarterback? I mean, come on.
First off, in week 1, Andy Dalton got sacked, I think, 4 or 5 times. I think he fumbled the ball once, threw a couple picks. And they pointed out last night that him and AJ Green are placed, I think, 2nd or 3rd best as a quarterback wide receiver tandem taken out of the same draft. And after they said that, they had this huge connection for like, I think it was like 30 yards, huge blast downfield. Mm-hmm. And after that happened, that's when I turned it off because then Houston got the ball back, and then that's when I guess Houston scored, and I was like, son of a bitch, I can't believe I turned it off. But like I said, a lot of teams, week 1, week 2, you got to look at the fact of a lot of these teams are trying to jock for position early because you have injuries later in the season.
Oh, yeah.
You have guys that, are suspended coming back. They want to play. They don't want to. You have all different types of stuff that are happening in the NFL. I mean, it happens in every league. It happens in Major League Baseball. It happens in the NBA, the NHL. But it just seems like football is, like, when it comes down to players getting suspended and players' injury, it just seems like the NFL is more crucial because of the fact that we look at 16 weeks. We look at a team that plays 16 weeks, and it's almost like high school football in Texas, where they feel like they got to win every game. Obviously, Jacksonville was a huge surprise. Did you see Baltimore as a huge surprise?
Baltimore
Against Cincinnati? That 20-0 game?
Oh, yeah. I picked Cincinnati to win that game. I did not expect them to have a slow start. Like I said earlier, I expected them to have a bounce-back year this year. But, whew, that was a huge surprise to me.
I found it a huge surprise just to the fact that, I said it last week, Baltimore's defense, they've been kind of not under the radar, they've been kind of out of sight, out of mind for the past few years since their last Super Bowl championship, their last appearance, because, you know, they lose guys like Ray Lewis, and I don't know, is Terrell Suggs still there? I don't think he's there anymore. I haven't heard his name floating around. If he's still there, you know, it's still the point you don't hear him.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Guys like Ed Reed, he's not there no more. It's one of those defenses that was like, holy crap, you know, we're seeing, you know, the Chicago Bears of, 87? And they're kicking ass, and the Ravens of 2000, and
it was the 85 Bears.
The 85 Bears. And, you know, now it's just one of those defensive teams, like, holy crap. And then you sit here and look at a team like Houston, who has the number one, still, I think, has the number one ranked defense in the league. It's just, again, week 2, and last night they showed it a little more than last week.
Yeah, big time.
There was, like, 1 or 2 more games I wanted to touch on. I'm going to save this one for last. I'm not even going to ask you about the Carolina-San Fran game, because we knew
I knew it.
I
was so happy they lost that game.
If any of you have watched last week, John said he wants them to bust. 0-16.
0-16, number 1 pick in the draft.
Now, I picked San Francisco last week. I did.
Crazy, man. I tried to tell him. I tried.
I just had a feeling that they were going to have a good defensive game and not let Carolina score 23 points.
They have no one on defense. No one.
I do want to touch up on the Rams and the Colts.
That game went exactly how I expected it to go. Because Scott Tolzien, and I even said it, he's trash. Scott Tolzien was one of the freaking Rams' best quarterbacks. He scored 2 touchdowns for the Rams defense. So, that's how good Scott Tolzien is. So,
well, I mean, there's, I guess, who was the one that got traded to go Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he's going to be much better.
He's going to be starting this week as far as it goes for Indianapolis. I seen that today. And for those of you who do not know the news, there was breaking news today that I think it was the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be firing their offensive coordinator.
As they should. Yeah. How terrible and sluggish that offense looked, and it really shouldn't be. I mean, come on. You got Dalton. You got A.J. Green. Tyler Eifert's there. You know, John Ross will be there when he comes back from injury. He just started practicing again. And then Joe Mixon. Forget about Giovanni Bernard. Forget about Jeremy Hill. You don't draft Joe Mixon and not start him. So when Mixon's... he'll be starting by midseason. That offense really has no reason to be that sluggish.
Well, last night Joe Mixon got a lot of carries. What I seen, he got a lot of carries. He actually did really, really good. I didn't get to see his stats for the end of the game, but he did have a lot of carries last night. He did look good. And the one thing that I don't get, and I want to close this out real quick. The Rams beating the Colts 46-9. For those of you who don't think the Rams are going to do anything this year, I find that as a momentum build because you beat a team that can contend. That can contend.
That was not a contending team because Andrew Luck wasn't there.
But
that was not. San Francisco probably could have beat that team. That's how bad that team was.
But the Rams, I think honestly, I don't see a playoff berth. I see improvement. I see a little bit more improvement offensively. Their defense last week their defense was lights out. I mean, their defense just stepped. I mean, that game I don't think could have been a lot better or a lot worse. I thought it was going to be like more of a mid-range game, probably, closer to like the 27 to 18 or 27 to 19 oddball score, but a 46-9 win over the Colts.
I think what it comes down to it for the Colts in the playoffs, if Andrew Luck does not come back soon, and they get off to an 0-4, 0-5 start, you might as well say, just scrap this year and say, look, our guy got hurt, he didn't play, we lost, you know.
Well, I still think the AFC South is going to belong to the Houston Texans. I see the Texans having a much better year. Now Deshaun Watson is starting. He's going to get that offense in sync. Philadelphia, Washington.
Well, it wasn't what I expected. And to be honest with you, I did not expect Kirk Cousins to look so bad. What happened to that guy? I mean, yeah, you lost Deshaun Jackson. You lost Pierre Garçon, but Garçon, in my opinion, is over the hill anyways. I mean, what happened to him? Seriously. And that defense. I did not expect Washington to stink it up that badly, to be honest with you. You saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. But
I seen it coming for one reason. If you watch, for the past few years, you had Kirk Cousins, who had Pierre Garçon. He had Deshaun Jackson to connect with. He also had, I think Alfred Morris was there for a short period of time with him. Kirk Cousins had a team there. And now he's got to start figuring out who he's going to sync with. Now, before I get on the Eagles for a second, I'm going to say something about the Washington Redskins.
He needs to sync with Terrell Pryor. He could not hit that boy on the long ball to save his life last Sunday.
Well, the thing is I honestly, and Terrell Pryor, he's not a bad wide receiver. He was a crappy quarterback in the NFL. He was a crappy quarterback. Being a wide receiver in the NFL this late in his career, it was a good move, I think, because he's not seeing as much contact.
It saved his career.
It's wear and tear. Yes, it saved his career. But I don't see Kirk Cousins and him just sinking. I don't see it. I see Kirk Cousins in the long run connecting with more tight ends, more slot receiver type guys, more running backs out of the backfield, handing the ball off. I don't see him connecting with Pryor. I don't see it.
So you're saying he's going to connect with tight ends, just like he did with Vernon Davis last year.
Yeah, and that's true. And
got to plug in the jersey.
The thing is, and you've said it before, and I got to kind of hop on the bandwagon with you on this one. I was watching a friend of mine has his own sports talk show. He has his own radio show, everything like that. And they were touching on the base of Kirk Cousins a little bit, and it got me thinking. Kirk Cousins in San Francisco next year.
Makes sense.
I'm with it. I'm also with Kirk Cousins because, and I'm going to say this, Kirk Cousins is playing for free agency next year.
Yes, he is. So he needs to step it up if he wants to make that money.
So I'm thinking San Francisco, and you can disagree with me on my next two. He's either going to play for San Francisco, Arizona, or New Orleans.
I don't see Breeze leaving anytime soon.
Well,
he's older, but I don't see it.
Breeze is on a contract year.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
Breeze is on a contract year, so which means, for those of you who don't know what a contract year is, it's basically this is his last season under contract, and then he's a free agent. I see whatever direction Arizona goes this year, I see Carson Palmer calling it quits, hanging him up. If they don't go as far as even a playoff this year, I see Carson Palmer saying, look...
Well, it'll be Fitzgerald's last year. He pretty much already said that.
And that's the thing is, at some point they're going to have to look in the future, and I honestly see Kirk Cousins going to San Francisco, New Orleans, or Arizona. Those are the three teams.
It's going to be San Francisco. Why? Kyle Shanahan was his offensive coordinator during the best seasons of his career in Washington. He's already said he wants to go to San Francisco and reunite with him. So it's only a matter of time. So get all your crappiness out this year, Kurt, because when you come to San Francisco, it's time to play ball.
Well, what I think needs to happen, too, is if Kirk Cousins goes to San Francisco, San Francisco needs to start looking offensively. They did a great job in the draft defensively. I honestly, and I'm going to say this right now, I think they did a great job picking defensively in the draft.
Yes, they did.
If not, probably had the best picks defensively in the draft.
Yeah.
You guys got a defensive end. You got a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
You went cornerback. I think you guys picked up a receiver, didn't you? And a running back. I think that's what you guys picked up. I don't know.
No, we got a tight end. We got a quarterback, too, who in our 4th round pick that I cannot, or 3rd round pick that from Iowa that I really can't wait to see play. And in the 5th round, they drafted his tight end, too. So to me, that tells me that, okay, they're really considering this guy to be could be the future if they're already drafting one of his weapons.
But Philadelphia, man. I will say this, and for the record, the Kirk Cousins fumble in the 4th quarter was not a fumble.
No, that was an incomplete pass, and I didn't like it because, not just because I picked Washington, but because they had a chance to go down the field and win the game, and the referee said no. It's like, what the hell, man? That was a piss poor call, in my opinion.
I agree. I do agree. I think it was a bad call. I think it was not a fumble. And the thing is the Eagles' defense, and I was just about to say this, the Eagles' defense was putting so much pressure on Cousins, not only in that last drive of the 4th quarter, but they were putting pressure on him probably all game.
Oh, yeah.
They sacked him a couple times. I mean,
it was a great game. That game was a great game, despite the blown call at the end that prematurely ended it. That was a really good game.
It was. It was a good game, and the Eagles, honestly, I think it should have been 23-17, but 30-17 was the final. Eagles are 1-0. As we look at the West versus East, if you look at the overall of the West, 0-1, the East 1-0 as far as representing teams.
That's week
and I'm
2.
I'm sorry. We're gonna see.
That was week 2 overall.
No, I'm talking 49ers 0-1 Eagles.
Oh, I thought you meant
the representative of the West is 1-0. Or 0-1. I'm 1-0.
You
as
can't
the
go
Eagles.
by that. We're going 0-16.
So that's just be prepared that this record's going to keep going up, and that record's just going to stay down this way. But the overall record from last week was...
If we're going by jerseys, I'm looking at a Russell Wilson jersey, and I'm about to burst into flames for saying that.
But we look at the overall records. I went 6-9 last week. John went 8-7. John is up by 2 games right now. If you count last night's Thursday nighter with the Houston Texans defeating the Cincinnati Bengals, John is only up by 1 game, but It is not an official thing until after week 2.
And the thing that helped me out last week was when Mike and I picked the exact same team. We both had 4 wins and 5 losses. Okay, so that helped out big time because those were 9 games that were evened out no matter what. So then when we actually had head-to-head games where I picked one team and he picked the other, I went 4-2, he went 2-4. So that trend is going to continue.
We are going to move along with Sunday's 1 o'clock games. And would you like to do the honors of the introductions?
That's fine. All right, first game up. The Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers. I'm just going to say that right now. I mean, it's Buffalo, really. They have no offense. Their defense isn't really as good as it used to be. I mean, yeah, they beat the Jets. Well, everyone's going to beat the Jets. Nothing. Come on. Seriously, the Panthers. I'm not going to waste my breath on this one just because this should be a no-brainer.
I'm going with the Bills. Yes, I'm going with the Bills. They beat the Jets last week. It was a division game. It counted for something more than just a win. Yes, Sammy Watkins is not there. Sammy Watkins is with the Rams. But I think, honestly, I got Buffalo in this one. The Panthers... Dude, the Panthers played the Niners last week.
I forgot about McCoy. The Buffalo has one player on offense, and that's McCoy. My bad.
Shady.
I forgot.
Shady.
And I just traded for him on my own fantasy team.
But still, I got the Bills winning this one. Carolina played the Niners last week.
Yeah, I'm glad they played the Niners last week.
Okay. The Bills played somebody better than the Niners.
That's debatable.
Debatable.
That's debatable.
But the Jets can actually win a football game.
Not this year, they haven't.
The Jets can throw the ball.
Who's going to catch it?
The Jets can run the ball.
Who's going to run it?
I don't
They
care.
do not have... they're an average team. I will take Carlos Hyde over Powell any day of the week. And I'm not a big Carlos Hyde guy. That guy stinks. Okay. Except when he wears the black jersey, he goes off.
I got the Bills. I don't care. I don't care. Oh my god.
Oh man.
You were going to pick the Panthers because they beat the fucking Niners last week.
I would pick the Panthers because they're playing the Bills. It's that simple. If the Panthers were playing the Steelers, I wouldn't be picking the Panthers.
Bills are going to beat the Panthers. And when Sunday comes, I am going to personally call you at 4:30 and be like, what the fuck happened to the Panthers?
I'll be waiting for the call I will never get.
Okay, so let's move on here. The Cleveland Browns are at the Baltimore Ravens. I don't want fireworks on this one this week, but I'm going with the Browns.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm going with the Browns.
Don't do it.
The Browns only lost by 3. I think defensively, they're going to step up a lot more as the season goes on. Offensively, I think they're still going to have to figure themselves out. But, see, Kaiser, I think, honestly, could be the future of this team. I didn't get to see the game because fuck you, CBS, for not putting the game on.
Local blackout.
Bullshit.
Every time the Eagles play.
Bullshit.
They're
Okay,
the only game.
You're gonna put the fucking Colts and the Rams on at 4 o'clock, but you're not gonna put the Steelers. Now, honestly, I would have loved, and I said this last week to him.
There were
I would have
3
loved,
channels those games could have been on. 3 channels, 3 games playing. Put one on each.
I would have loved to be able to flip back and forth between the Eagles and the Steelers game, because I had very high hopes for the Browns, and they only lost by 3. I see that defense getting better. Kaiser, he as far as I seen, because I had to watch fucking highlights. Thank you, fucking CBS. He didn't look bad. And I think if he takes more command of this team, the Browns might actually not contend for a playoff, but maybe 7-9, maybe 6-10, maybe 6-10.
Way!
You don't see at least 6 wins.
No.
6 wins for the Browns.
They had what? How many wins did they have last year?
I think 2. I think they went 2-14 last year. So you don't see any improvement. With the draft class that they had this year, you don't see any improvement.
Not 6-10, 7-9, maybe 3-13.
Okay, I'm done with this. I'm going Browns. Who do you got?
You don't have to ask me that question. I'm going the Ravens all the way. Yeah, I liked what I saw from highlights with Kaiser, but to be honest with you, I didn't care for him at Notre Dame. Didn't care for him. I need to see more from him. I do like Corey Coleman, though, the wide receiver that the Browns have. So, get me some points this week, Coleman. But,
Hold on. So you're going to sit here and root for a Browns receiver,
yes.
but condemn me for picking the Browns to win a game.
Yes!
You have Corey Coleman as a wide receiver in your fantasy league.
One of them.
But you're not going to root for him to score you touchdowns or yards. But yet you are going to sit there and say they aren't going to get more than 3 wins.
This is the difference here.
You do understand that in order for these players to get you points in fantasy, they have to do something other than just get yards. They have to score touchdowns.
You do understand Coleman can get me 1 receiver a game, and the Browns can lose 28-7 the rest of the year. And yeah. But I just don't think the Browns are in Baltimore's league yet. Not for a while. I'm not a big fan of the Ravens, to be honest with you. I've said it for a long time. Flacco is average. So, and who does he really have to throw the ball to? I mean, Macklin, okay, I'll give him that one. Perryman, I'm not so big of a fan on him. Mike Wallace, I mean, he's like the ageless wonder. I mean, really, I didn't even realize he was still playing. His name just doesn't get thrown out there. But the Ravens' defense is not as mighty as it was, but it should be good enough to keep the Browns in check. So, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go right into the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals versus the Indianapolis Colts. I have to go Arizona with this. I have to. I mean, the Colts have, without Andrew Luck, I mean, what do they have, really? Frank Gore, he's good, but he's old. He can't carry a team by himself anymore. They have Hilton, but if you don't have anybody to throw the ball to T.Y. Hilton, he's pretty much useless. I mean, Jake Doyle, their tight end, was pretty good for them. He was Tolzien's security blanket when he wasn't throwing the ball to the Rams. But other than that, I mean, the Indianapolis defense proved that they don't have one because they let Jared Goff run wild on them, and Goff to me isn't really that good. So I have to go with the Cardinals here.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona too. Indianapolis, they without Andrew Luck, honestly, I think their loss. Tolzien, I mean Scott Tolzien, he was behind a couple. I guess you could say he was behind a great quarterback at one point, and then he kind of went into some.
He didn't learn from him.
No, he didn't. He did not learn from Aaron Rodgers at all.
Trust me, he was a former.
It's almost like he sat there and just looked at a clipboard and said, "What do I do with this?"
Yeah. Pretty much.
And yes, Arizona. I got Arizona in this one as well. I mean, a huge loss for David Johnson being out. I mean, they're going to miss him. But I don't know. I mean, they don't have to rely on their Johnson, though. They don't have to rely on their run game. I mean, they got Larry Fitzgerald, who is a great slot receiver. Still has the hands as a mid-veteran. I can't say rookie. You have to say mid-veteran.
Old-timer.
He's an old-timer, but he can make plays. And especially down in the red zone. I mean, he's that red zone. He is a red zone threat, and I think Arizona is going to see the red zone at least 4 times, 5 times in this game. They're going to be inside the 20, and maybe even inside the 10, where they're going to have to make a move and throw it to Fitz. I think, honestly, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to make a call of the week. Fitzgerald's going to get at least 2 touchdowns in the red zone. 2 touchdowns.
Maybe.
I'm calling it. Fitz, 2 touchdowns. Carson Palmer, again, I think this is going to be a year where Carson Palmer is going to have to step up and get them somewhere. Because without David Johnson in the backfield, I mean, they're going to have to rely on his arm. And that defense, whatever happened to their defense last week just fell. I mean, Matthew Stafford just fucking blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, after that first pick 6, man, that was it. Stafford was just like, I'm going to pull my head out of my ass. So, and I sat here and talked shit on Matt Stafford last week.
I still think he's average. But,
I still think the Lions made the mistake, but I mean, he might have a good year this year. I don't know, but you can go ahead. Next,
you want me to
go for it. Yep, go for it.
All right. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans at the surprise Jacksonville Jaguars, 1-0. Didn't see that coming. Blake Bortles went on the record saying that this is a bounce back year for him, and hey, man, if you can do it, go for it. So, I mean, they lost Allen Robinson. They still have Hearns. They still have Marquise Lee. Leonard Fournette was an absolute monster for them. Is it going to be enough to beat the Titans? I don't think so. I'm taking Tennessee. I think that defense will bring the Jaguars back down to earth. I like Mariota. I'm starting to like him. I thought he would be a bust coming out of college just because I thought he was a system quarterback. But, you know, then they still have Murray to pound the ball. Corey Thomas, the rookie receiver. I want to see something out of him. So, too, I'm hoping to see something out of him. But I think Tennessee should be able to beat Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got Tennessee as well. I see, again, like John said, the Tennessee Titans knocking Jacksonville back down to earth. I mean, Jacksonville, and here's the thing, is Jacksonville had a good draft themselves. But Houston just ran into some problems last week. I mean, Tom Savage starting. Tom Savage just
that was the first problem.
That was their first problem. They should have started Deshaun Watson.
Yes, they should have.
From the snap. But it took them a half to figure it out. They said, Deshaun, you're in. Deshaun made some improvements on offense, but it just was not enough for them to overcome Jacksonville. Jacksonville was in a groove. Anyways, Jacksonville is going to get knocked back down to earth. Tennessee's going to stomp them. Marcus Mariota, I think, is going to have a decent week this week. I can't say humongous. I think he's going to have a decent week this week. I would probably pick him up as a fantasy player. If you have multiple leagues, why not start him? Why not start him against the Jacksonville defense? Why not? I wouldn't. But we're going to move on to Philadelphia. Going against the Kansas City Chiefs, traveling to Kansas City. I've been saying it all week, and a lot of people are like, how can you say that? It's about your team. Well, I'm a realist when it comes to things, people, and I'm going to say it. The Kansas City Chiefs, 27, the Eagles, 21. I'm going Kansas City on this. Kansas City had a great showing against New England last week. Their defense was really good. They honestly put pressure on Brady. Not too much pressure, but enough to maybe startle him a little bit. The offense was really, really good. That running back that they have, what was that, Thomas West? Thomas West, his name?
Were we talking about the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Hunt.
Hunt. Oh my God, why am I thinking West? Because the Kansas City Chiefs are in the West. But I got the Chiefs in this one. 27-21. That's the score. I honestly think if the Chiefs' run game gets to the second and third level, it's going to be tough. I mean, their running back, Hunt, is just an insane running back. He's a rookie, but still.
He had a good week last week.
He had a great week last week. Mm-hmm. A great week. Why wouldn't I sit here and say Kansas City's going to come out and win? I mean, the Philly, number one, has to travel across. Both teams have to travel across. But Kansas City got the jump. They played on Thursday. They got to travel home Friday. They got the jump. Philly played Sunday. They traveled, Wednesday?
Yeah, probably.
The traveling does take it. I mean, you got that jet lag or whatever. You got the time zone. And I'm not using that as an excuse. Because you guys just heard me sit here and say, if that running game gets to the second and third level, there's going to be an issue. And it's going to happen multiple times in this ballgame. It's going to. The Eagles' defense can't do everything. The defensive line, I mean. And the offense needs to get in sync. I mean, we got Alshon Jeffrey. We got Torrey Smith. Nelson Aguilar, you got to admit, had a hell of a game last week.
Nobody saw that coming.
Had a hell of a game last week. Nelson Aguilar.
I personally didn't think Aguilar knew how to catch the ball. Like, I was surprised when he actually could catch the ball.
He figured it out. I think, honestly, Alshon and Torrey got under him on it. And I think it boosted his confidence when they traded.
Somebody lit a fire under his ass.
I think it boosted his confidence when they traded Jordan Matthews. I think it did. I think it boosted his confidence. And I think him seeing these rookie receivers come in, showing up during preseason, probably said to himself, you know what? I need to get to the level where I need to be at.
He has no reason to fail now, though.
No.
You're going to line him up as a number 3 receiver. You're not going to get the second or the first or second best corner on you. You're not.
No. But there was a couple times in that game against Washington where they were double-teaming him.
Yeah.
They were double-teaming him, and they were getting scared of him. He was a threat, which was a surprise to a lot of people.
All he has to worry about is holding the ball when he cuts across the middle of the field when he gets hit. That's all he's got to worry about.
The one thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to touch base on, and I know John's going to reinvert on this one. The Eagles' run game, I'm sorry, you cannot have LeGarrette Blount run the ball one down, then have Darren Sproles run the ball one down, and then Wendell Smallwood come in and run. You can't do that.
They
need to set something up where one guy is carrying the ball at least twice every set. And it's not going to work if you're going to have 3 different running backs on 3 different plays. It's not going to happen. So pick one. Pick one. You got LeGarrette Blount. You spent the money. Give him the ball. If you don't want to give him the ball, then put Smallwood in. Because Sproles is not a carrying back. He is a guy to go out in the flat or possibly play a 4th receiver. He's not a running back.
They need to use Sproles like the Cleveland Browns are using Duke Johnson Jr. Junior lined up as wide receiver for most of that game because he's a pass-catching back.
Yeah.
That's how they need to use Sproles.
Yeah. Well, they need to figure out the run game, and I think honestly, Kansas City 27-21 in this one. I got the Chiefs.
And you know what? I have the Chiefs also. The Eagles, they're coming off of a win. That's a good win on their part. Then they got to go to Arrowhead Stadium, which is loud. They were competing with Seattle for the record for loudest stadium noise a couple of seasons ago. It kept going back and forth. And then you got the head coach, Doug Peterson, who is a student of Andy Reid, the head coach of the Chiefs. I think Reid will outcoach him, to be honest with you. I wasn't too impressed with Peterson's play calling against the freaking Redskins. So, and I do think Kareem Hunt, I believe is his name, I think they contain him. Tyreek Hill, if I'm an Eagle fan in the Eagle secondary, that's the guy I'm worried about stopping because he's fast. And the Eagles really, their secondary is hurting.
And it is hurting because of losing Darby. And we're going to have Darby out for about 6 weeks. For those of you who've seen it and don't know what happened to Darby, Darby actually just dislocated his ankle. He didn't break anything. He's going to miss 6 weeks. It was announced today that he's going to miss 6 weeks. A lot of people are going to probably say, oh, no, it was announced yesterday. No, it was officially announced today. Also, the Eagles losing Caleb Sturgis. They signed kicker. Oh, my God, I forget what team they signed a kicker from. It's bad.
He was a practice squad guy, if I remember right.
He was, no, they signed
Wasn't he
yeah,
from
well,
the
he signed
Bengals?
he signed him, well, yeah, the Bengals practice squad. Yeah,
I
it
thought
was the
so.
Bengals practice squad. But both those guys going to miss some time. Sturgis, I believe, is out for the year. He's having some hip problems. He's an older guy, too.
Want to take the next one?
Yeah. Huge game. I think, honestly, we talked about this before we started doing this tonight, that the Sunday Nighter this week is probably the game of the week.
This is a close second if it lives up to its hype.
This is definitely a close second if the hype is built enough. New England at New Orleans.
If their offenses show up, because last week their offenses did not show up at all. So
now, and that's it. Both teams are hungry. Both teams are going to want to win this ball game. New England at New Orleans. A lot of different. See, there's a lot of people would probably sit here and say, "Oh, there's a lot of different levels to this game," and there is a lot of different levels. New England traveling to New Orleans. The game's in a dome. It's not outside. New Orleans is great at home. They're lights out. Blah 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 blah. All this shit. There was some moves in the offseason that were made, and one big move that was made. His name is Brandon Cooks, who was a key receiver for Mr. Drew Brees last season.
I don't think they'll miss him that much, though. They have Mike Thomas. And they signed Ted Ginn Jr. He's old, but he's still fast.
He is. But Tom Brady, I mean, he could take this hand and fill it up with rings. That means that guy can go anywhere and win a ball game.
How he got those rings, that's a conversation for another video.
Go New England in this game. That's my final answer, because we're not going to continue this conversation. We're just going to go. I'm going New England. If you have more to say about this, I'm
good. Let's move this on.
I'm going New England.
Let's move along.
Yeah, Minnesota, Pittsburgh.
All right, I'll do this. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh. The Vikings surprised me. They really did. I figured the Saints were going to beat them, but that offense, like I said before, just didn't show up. So, I mean, I like Dalvin Cook. Stefan Diggs had a good game for them. Bradford played above the level that I think he can play. He's not going to play that every week. I still look at him as average. But now they're going to Pittsburgh. Not an easy place to win. Now you're going to contend with that defense. You got Antonio Touchdown Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Don't forget about... I always get them confused. So I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to say the wrong name.
I say wrong names.
But one of them is a Bear now, if I remember right. I always get Wheaton and Bryant confused, but because I look at them as the same receiver, really. They're both a good number 3 receiver for each team. So, but yeah, and even what's-his-face? Jesse James stepped it up. I believe he had 2 touchdowns last week. So, I'm going with the Pittsburgh machine. So, going Steelers.
So, you're saying that Sam Bradford had a lucky week last week against New Orleans.
Yeah.
You're saying that the Minnesota defense wasn't lights out?
They were either lights out or the Saints just had an off day.
You were watching that game, right? You did watch that game.
Bits and pieces.
You didn't watch the whole game.
Bits and pieces.
So you didn't see like a bunch of
I watched
really
some
key
of it.
third down stops. That
I didn't watch
had.
all of it.
Because that defense was fucking electric. That defense was beast.
Remember, it was also the home opener too.
That defense was beast.
But the Steelers are on another level than the
Sam
Saints.
Bradford was lights out. He had an ass-kicking week. And the Minnesota defense fucked shit up. And they are going to do so against Pittsburgh. That is why I'm going with Minnesota in this game.
Thank you.
Okay? I don't even want to talk about this game. There is one thing I do want to say.
About the next game?
Yeah, there is one thing I want to say though. I wish everybody down in Florida and Texas the best of luck with their recoveries.
Yes,
with the
that's
Hurricanes.
terrible.
As many of you know, Tampa Bay and Miami did not get to play their game last week because it was set to play in Florida anyways. They were playing each other. They unfortunately had to use their bye weeks.
They should have found a neutral location because that's not right to make those teams play 16 straight games.
And that was the thing is they had set location. I mean, teams were offering. Philadelphia was one of them.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll say this right now. If that game, even though it was week 1, and even though I always say I'm not going to miss an Eagles game, I would have honestly probably missed an Eagles game to go see that game. I think I would have bought a ticket to go see Tampa Bay and Miami play.
Tickets probably would have been cheap
I don't
because it
care.
was last minute.
Because how cool, I mean, look at it this way. You would have been able to go and see James Winston play.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson play.
Yeah.
You would have been able to go see Jay Ajayi play.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Stills. A bunch of good players
Yeah.
play in what could have been, and I still think is going to be a great Week 11 game.
Yeah. We both picked Tampa Bay to win that game,
We
too.
did both take Tampa Bay.
We're going to have to reevaluate that pick then in Week 11.
And that's the shitty part is having to You know what? No. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to stay on record. I'm picking Tampa Bay in that game. I'm going to stick with Tampa Bay. I'm sticking with Tampa Bay as my pick.
You know, I'll do the same. We both picked this.
I think, honestly, in respect to that football game, we should stick with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. It's either a win for loss for both of us or a loss for both of us.
Because
So
we're
we're
already on record as picking Tampa Bay.
So who are you liking with this one?
Well, with this game, I am going to stick with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to come out and beat Chicago. I have something to say about this game after all. I do. Mitch Trubisky did not look as bad as I thought he would last week. Although, the Bears did have some trickery up their sleeves to stay in the ballgame.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
He did do what they had to do. But Tampa Bay's fresh. Tampa Bay had the extra week. Tampa Bay is going to come out, and I wouldn't say destroy the Bears, but they are going to beat them soundly.
I completely agree. I'm going with the Bucks too. To me, the biggest surprise on the Bears is Cohen. That rookie came in, and he's going to be a nice compliment to Howard. That's going to be a nice 1-2 punch at running back.
I forgot about O.J. Howard. That's right. They got O.J. Howard.
I'm not even talking about O.J. Howard. I'm talking about the Bears running back.
Tampa Bay has O.J. Howard.
I know.
I thought you were talking about O.J. Howard.
No. No.
Fine. Don't talk about arguably one of the best tight ends coming out of the draft.
I won't.
Prick.
I won't, because I want to see what he does. But anyways, Cohen...
He's going to have 5 catches for probably 65.
5 catches for 2
About
yards
60.
and a fumble.
Yeah, fuck.
No, I'm kidding. Anyways, Cohen, he came out of left field. Nobody saw that coming. But, I mean, I really don't have anything to say about the Bears' defense. They haven't really been good since the early 2000s when they had Lovie Smith. I mean, the late 2000s.
Yeah, I'm using my cheat sheet, people.
So, Tampa Bay, just with all their weapons, they should win that game. So, I'm just going with Tampa Bay. So now we'll start the 4 p.m.
We're
games.
going to move on to the 4 p.m. games. Yeah,
We'll go with the Dolphins and Chargers, the other team that was supposed to play last week that didn't. And I expected the Chargers to come out swinging. I'm going to go with this again. Rivers is going to have a bounce-back year this year. He cannot play as bad as he did last year. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they don't have a defense. They don't. Rivers had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. They couldn't stop Denver from scoring. They couldn't. So, I mean, Melvin Gordon will get you so far running the ball. But other than that, I mean, then you got the Dolphins. And I'm actually interested to see how this team plays. I've been waiting for Jay Ajayi to step back on the field. Then you got Landry. You got Parker. I think you have a better team, really, with the Dolphins. So, I'm going with the Dolphins over the Chargers. I'm interested to see Jay Cutler reunited with his old coordinator. I want to see how he does.
I'm going Chargers in this one. I think the Chargers... This is the thing, is the Chargers abruptly just moved from San Diego to Los Angeles. And I understand it's the same state. Different cities.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a lot to prove in Los Angeles, and it's all going to start Sunday against Miami.
Well, they don't have a lot of competition as to who are the best team in that stadium will be, or that city will be.
Oh, I'm going Chargers in this game. Speaking of the Raiders, they're playing the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm going Raiders. I mean...
You have to.
I have to go Raiders.
You have to go
I mean, even though the Jets are better than the Niners, I still think I'm going to go with the Raiders. In this
That's
one.
debatable.
Yeah. I'm going Raiders.
But you have to go to the Raiders. I mean, you have to. That defense, that offense, you have to. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about this game. It's the Raiders. This is a no-brainer.
We're going Raiders. So let's move on to the another game that could possibly be a contender for game of the week. The
Could
Dallas
be the dark horse.
The dark horse. Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. This, I think, is going to be a must-see 4 o'clock game. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant.
He didn't do much last week.
Jason Witten. Dallas Cowboys defense still stepping out. Denver has a defense. Their offense, I mean, Trevor Siemian, I'm sorry. He's not their quarterback. Trevor Siemian is not their quarterback.
Their quarterback isn't on their roster.
Their quarterback isn't, he's still in college.
I don't think Paxton
Pee-wee.
Lynch is going to be their quarterback either.
I'm going Dallas in this game. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna literally, if I walk into a crowd of Eagles fans and they see this video, they're gonna probably burn me alive.
No, they won't.
They're gonna set me on fire.
No, they won't. But anyway,
they're gonna fill me up with gasoline, like pour gasoline all over me, and they're gonna blow me up. They're gonna fucking set me on fire.
No, they won't.
You
You just made Eagles fans sound extremely bad, but they've already had enough video.
I'm an Eagles fan picking the Cowboys over the Broncos. I'm gonna get set on fire, dude. I can't show my face in Philadelphia.
Why would you want to? It's a shithole city. So I am going to go with the Cowboys as well. I just don't see that offense being stopped, like he said, and that defense. This is going to stop the Broncos' offense. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, I want to do the next one, I guess.
Okay.
Redskins and Rams. Go. Go, please.
All right. The Washington Redskins at the Los Angeles Rams. All right. So this one really shouldn't be that hard to pick. I mean, the Rams played out of their mind, but they were playing possibly the worst team in the league, at least now without Andrew Luck. Whereas the Redskins put a fight with Philadelphia, lost the hard-fought matchup. I think Cousins will have a bounce-back game. Maybe Jordan Reed will do something. Maybe Cousins will actually be able to hit Pierre Garçon on a deep pass. But not sold on Jared Goff. Still think he's trash. I'm going with the Washington Redskins, so
I'm going Rams. Okay, I'm not even going to continue this. I'm going Rams.
All right, next up, the last 4 p.m. game. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. The quest for 0-16 continues. Hashtag no one loses like us. Well, except maybe the Colts. But, there's really not much to say. Hoyer played an average game last week against the Panthers. Pierre Garçon had a decent game, but somebody's got to catch passes because there ain't anybody else who's gonna. That's the truth. Hyde is average at best. Their defense is a work in progress. So, I mean, really, don't have a secondary. Worst team in stopping the run last year. I mean, the draft and free agency, yeah, might have helped with that a little bit. But come on, going to Seattle, stop it. Stop it. We're going to be 0-2, just like we're going to finish 0-16. Get that number 1 pick and let the rebuilding process continue. Going with the Seattle Seahawks.
So, are the 49ers going to take the Sixers hashtag? Trust the process?
I hope so. I hope so.
If you guys want it, I mean, take it.
Hey, rebuild. As long as we're not in a permanent rebuild like Cleveland.
So you're going to hashtag trust the process.
No.
Is this even a process? Is it a process for them?
Rebuilding is a process for every team.
Not always.
It's just only certain teams pull it off and others can't.
49ers since 2012?
Yeah. Your pick.
This is the part where I want my fireworks this week.
Yeah.
My boom booms that you added in last week, that's kind of cool.
Just
I need more, though.
Just for you.
I need, instead of like just one little red firework, I need a boom boom. I need a red and a gold firework this week.
My free help is starting to make demands.
Okay.
I don't have gold. I have what Kynes Master has.
Do you have white and red?
No, that is my only firework one.
Red?
Yes.
Well, it's only fitting because I'm taking the Niners.
Thank you again for that one.
So I'm taking the Niners.
Thank you.
That
cancels out my Cincinnati loss Thursday.
I'm taking the Niners. Is going to be my upset of the week. YouTube, my upset of the week: 49ers over the Seahawks.
All right. You want to do the Sunday one?
I'll do Sunday Night Football. Actually, you know what?
Both.
You want me to do both?
Yeah, you can do both.
Okay, we're going to do both. Okay.
I just took the last two.
Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Now, the Atlanta Falcons, and I said it before, the Atlanta Falcons, how the fuck do you let the Chicago Bears stay in a ball game? How? Where the Green Bay Packers were in a hell of a game with the Seattle Seahawks defensively until Aaron Rodgers found the glitch and won the game.
Yeah, halftime, he just did what he had to do. Like
Now-
Rodgers always does.
Now, last year, if this was the playoffs, I would have probably changed my pick to the Falcons instead of the Packers like I did. So I'm going to do it for this Sunday Nighter. And I'm going Falcons over the Packers on Sunday Night Football.
And that's what makes this game interesting. Because, one, I think it's going to be the game of the week. Hands down. I'm looking forward to watching this game Sunday night. I'm going with the Packers. No, Aaron Rodgers has proven it over and over again. Don't count him out, especially in big games. And it's week 2, but this is a big game. This could be home field advantage on the line. It could be playoff seeding. Essentially, as he tries to not eat his saltines in front of me.
Do you want some crackers with that cheese, Mr. Packer Man? You want a cracker with your cheese?
I'd rather pack the fudge. Anyways, I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers. He's too much of a veteran, so I'm going with the Packers on that one.
This is what he just said.
Oh, I know what I just said. Moving on.
For those of you who can't see, I'm crossing my legs right now. Crossing my legs.
Anyways.
Oh, we got a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
Right. We do. So, the Lions and the Giants. Matthew Stafford last week, after throwing a pick 6, lit the shit up. 4 touchdowns, tore it up. He literally showed me a little bit of why he got his contract. And I will say this right now, Matthew Stafford, for the freaking contract that you got, yes, I watched my language, I caught that at last second, for the contract that you got, you better play that way throughout the whole season.
It's not going to happen.
You have the Giants, to where their defense is not good. And they got some really good defensive players. Prince Amukamara. They got, what's his name out of the draft last year? Eli Apple.
Yeah, that's it, the corner.
Who is expected to be a really good player. And then offensively, I mean, you got Brandon Marshall, who came along, who took the spot of Victor Cruz, who was supposed to be an upgrade. He caught 1 pass on Sunday night. 1 pass. One freaking pass
to be
for
fair,
2 yards. For 2 yards.
To be fair, nobody on that offense performed.
They got Shane Vereen, who can't run the ball to save his freaking life.
No, the Giants need to realize they need a running back. They haven't had one in a long time.
Odell Beckham Jr. is going to miss some time.
They're saying a doctor told him 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
He's going for a second opinion.
And then you got Sterling Shepard, who's in his second year, who can still have a great career. It's just the fact of the Giants just
I don't
they
think
don't
he
have
played,
a
though.
good team.
Did he?
Sterling Shepard played. He
Was
was
that? Oh, did
in
he?
the slot.
I missed
he
that.
was a slot receiver. You know, he can have a great career. It's just that I don't think Eli is going to be the quarterback for him. I don't. With that being said, if Matthew Stafford has a lights-out game like he had against Arizona, because he had a lights-out game, after that first pick, dude, he had a lights-out game. Had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
And the Giants are just lost right now. Not only offensively, but defensively. And Odell Beckham Jr. cannot fix the problem. I don't care. Even if he stepped foot on the field, he would not help the problem.
He would help the problem.
He would not help the problem.
Yeah, because once people start double covering him, it opens up Brandon Marshall. It opens up Shepard.
But you need to rely on your offensive line to block. I'm taking the Lions over the Giants in this game. I think Matthew Stafford is going to tear apart that defense. I think he's going to have another lights-out game this week. I think the Lions move on to 2-0, and the Giants are going to continue to struggle. It's going to be a Monday nighter to watch, but I don't think it's going to be something to watch until the fourth quarter. I think maybe halftime, middle of the third quarter, the Lions are going to lock this one in. I'm going Lions over the Giants.
That's being more generous than me. I don't even think this is going to be a Monday nighter to watch until the Giants are proven that they look like they can beat a high school team. Because I think my alma mater of Emmaus High School could have beat the Giants the way they played Monday night. Because they were terrible. They looked like they didn't even deserve to be on the field. Like they were stepping on there for the first time. I'm going with the Lions. Giants are terrible. They need Odell back. Going with the Lions. And I don't think it's going to be close, to be honest with you.
it's not going to be close. But
It's not.
I guess we're going to have more discussion about the Odell Beckham Jr. thing as the weeks go on.
It's not going to be even watchable. I know I'm not going to watch it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
I want to kind of look forward to something for next week.
All right.
I'll ask you this question. Okay. So to recap, week 2, the Texans were over the Bengals on Thursday night, which gave me my first win of the week. John his first loss. we have a differential in 8 different games this week. The first differential was Thursday night. I'm sorry. The second differential is the Bills Panthers. The third one is the Browns Ravens. The fourth one is the Vikings Steelers. The fifth one is the Chargers Dolphins. Sixth one is the Rams Redskins. Seventh one is the Niners Seahawks, and the 8th one is the Falcons Packers. All the other games we do have the same picks, which would be the Cardinals, Titans, Chiefs, Patriots, Buccaneers, Raiders, Cowboys, and Lions. So that is the picks for week 2.
Yes, it is.
Do we want to do our Thursday nighter for next week?
Sure.
We're going to have to.
I don't even know who's playing. I didn't look it up.
Well, we don't have to. We can make the pick on our own. We'll make our Thursday night picks personally, and then we'll announce who won.
I'll announce mine on Facebook.
Yeah, I'll announce mine on Facebook too. You know what? Yeah, let's do that.
Because I wasn't even thinking about it, to be honest with you, next Thursday.
It's okay. We're still going to do it. We'll still do it. We'll make the pick on Facebook before Thursday night next week. But let's get through week 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Get through week 2. But I do want to look forward to something next week.
So, yeah, let's do it.
So, my question for you is, say Odell Beckham Jr. came back next week.
Who are they playing?
Okay. The New York Football Giants have to travel down the turnpike and come in to the link to take on Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, this doesn't have to be your official pick, but do you think that the Giants could beat the Eagles with Odell Beckham Jr.?
In New York, yes. In Philadelphia, no.
Okay.
I think that's one of those series you split at home.
I'll take that. Because it did split last year.
It is hard to win in New York if you're an opposing team.
It wasn't hard for 6 or 7 other teams last year.
It happens. All their losses weren't home losses.
I know.
Come on, man.
Still. So for those of you on YouTube that have subscribed, thank you for subscribing.
Yes,
to the
always
East,
appreciate that.
To the East versus the West NFL Football Challenge. This is week 2's picks. We will be back for week 3 next week. We thank everybody who subscribed. For those of you who are newly subscribers, you can catch us on Facebook Live by simply adding me or John on Facebook. We do this on live basis, but thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel, or John's YouTube channel, but our show, The East.
If the show would ever become big enough, it would get its own YouTube channel.
The East versus the West.
And as always, guys, if you like this, please like and subscribe, like we just said. Johnny H. out.
You know what? You're Johnny H.
That's me, yeah.
That's your nickname.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my name. My nickname.
Okay, go for it.
Big time.
Like and subscribe, please.